All right, welcome everybody. I hear a rumor that TYT is too strong. All right, as always, I love you guys for showing up. So that makes all the difference, So we launched something new today that you guys all already know about, but the audience doesn't. I'm going to let them know about it at the end. We've got a bunch of great speakers for you guys here, including wonderful progressive organizations like Justice Democrats, PCCC, Sunrise Movement. So we've got all that coming up, and we're going to have a great number of speakers for you all, and I'm going to come up at the end. But I'll be introing people throughout. So the first great speaker we have for you guys is the legendary Johnny Pie. So one of the top Young Turks hosts, the host of Damage Report, John Idarola.
Thank you. I swear we do have great speakers, but you got to get through me first. So thank you everybody for being here, for actually showing up, because it's kind of weird, isn't it, that you're here? Like that all of you, and I've met a bunch of you, that you're at a political rally outside of a debate. I mean, I know we've got the debate and millions of people are going to vote and millions of people are going to donate, but not a lot of people are actually going to show up to put pressure on the candidates. It takes a special sort of person. And I'm sure that every one of you has other things you'd like to be spending on your time if you could just forget about how messed up our country is. Some of you probably want to spend more time with your kids. I saw a guy in a 9 3/4 shirt. He'd probably rather be writing Harry Potter fan fiction. But maybe that's just me. But each and every one of you, perhaps for different reasons, you're sort of cursed that you can't just relax and pretend that you don't see the massive inequalities surrounding you every day in this messed up country of ours. And it really is different for a lot of you. Are there anybody here from Wolfpack? Okay, so you guys took a look out there and you said, isn't it weird that people can just buy politicians? And isn't it weird that what the people want has nothing to do with what the politicians actually do? That seems weird, doesn't it? Any of you believe in climate change? I hope so. Cheering doesn't mean you like it, people. It just means you accept it. Isn't it weird that we know that our climate is being ruined, but our politicians either don't know any better or do and refuse to act anyway? A lot of you have noticed that, and it sort of messed you up, didn't it? Some of you noticed that our representatives aren't representative of at all, certainly not of us. And so some of you fought with great organizations like Justice Democrats and Brand New Congress and a bunch of other groups to make sure that we have representatives that actually represent us. Rashida's a great example, and hopefully we're going to have her. And so you guys are here, and I've been talking with a lot of you, and a lot of you, this isn't your first time at the rodeo. A lot of you guys have been coming for literally years, and let me just say, thank God you do. Because I do a show, Damage Report, where we wake up every morning and we take a hard look at what's actually going on, and if it wasn't for you guys, I don't think I could keep doing it every day. Because as messed up as you are, I'm 10 times as messed up by this shit. Thank you. No, but that's the thing. The Wolfpack people, how many states have you gotten to sign the resolution already? A bunch, right? 5. Yeah, you weren't supposed to have gotten any. When he first started the group, people laughed at it. People still laugh at him, but not for that reason. And so you guys are succeeding against all odds, impossibly, getting people on both sides of the aisle to agree that money in politics needs to end. And for the people who care about the climate, man, this Sunrise Movement, it is crazy what they've been able to accomplish. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get the American people to care about the environment? It's damn near impossible. But they did it. And they did it not by working up slowly on the periphery of politics, but by camping outside of Nancy Pelosi and making sure that the leadership of the Democratic Party knows that this is not a peripheral issue, this is a core issue, and we are going to have a candidate that takes it seriously. And you guys are awesome, and thankfully you guys are not alone, not just with people fighting and organizing around the country, but finally we have a few politicians that actually give a damn about us. And it's thanks to groups like Justice Democrats that we don't just have Bernie, and a few others. We now have AOC, and we have Ilhan Omar, and we have Ayanna Pressley, and we have Rashida Tlaib, as well as people like Ro Khanna and a bunch of other great ones, and they are accomplishing so much. It's like 10 people, but they are driving every conversation about politics across this goddamn country. And wouldn't it be nice, imagine, if we had a presidential candidate that agreed with them on a few of these issues? Wouldn't it be nice if one of the 30 people we got on the stage in the next 2 nights actually realized what it is we care about and what it is we're going to be fighting for throughout this interminable primary? And so thank you so much for showing up, because a lot of the time these candidates, they can hide from the regular people. When they go to big fundraisers, when they're talking to lobbyists, all that's done behind closed doors. But they have to see you now, and they have to know what you care about. And so thank you for making sure they know what we are prioritizing. Now, thankfully, a couple of those awesome people are here. Abdul's amazing candidate. It is heartbreaking that he didn't make it all the way in that primary, but there's big things coming for him. Hopefully, Rashida Tlaib will be here. Alexandra Rojas is going to be here. Varshini Prakash, some of the best people making the biggest moves across the country are going to be here. So give it up for them. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for helping me get through the day.
All right, guys. So we were first on the scene, and I love that you guys are active and ready to go. Now here comes the cavalry. All right, can I get a shout out for SEIU? Can I get a shout out for Sunrise? All right, up next, an amazing speaker from Michigan. He ran for governor as a Justice Democrat. Abdul El-Sayed, he's a Rhodes Scholar. He got the endorsement of Bernie Sanders, of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He's the top expert in healthcare, dare I say, in the whole state. He's now the chair of Southpaw and senior fellow at the Governing Institute. One of the top progressive leaders in the country, Abdul El-Sayed.
Who here knows that when we organize, we win? Let me hear you. And who here knows that when we stand up to corporations, there is nothing we can do to take our power back? Let me hear you. Nothing we can't do. And who is ready to stand up for Medicare for all, for a Green New Deal, and to get that corporate money out of our politics? Now let me tell you, the work is going to be hard. The organizing will take everything we have. But we know what we're fighting for. For the past 2 years, I had the opportunity to tour this incredible state. And no matter where I went, whether I was talking to poor or working or retired people in places like Flint or Detroit, or poor or working or retired people in places like Kalkaska or Marquette, they're asking the same basic questions. Why is it that in a state that is defined by its fresh water, why is it that we can't get clean water for our kids? When are we going to stand up to the likes of Nestle? They're asking, why is it that in a country that is the richest and most powerful in the world, why is it that too many of our people still don't have health care? When are we going to stand up for Medicare for all? They're asking why it is that their kids' schools still look as broke as they did when they used to walk through them. When are we going to stand up to the likes of Betsy DeVos and Dee DeVos, our education system? Now tonight, we're going to hear a bunch of candidates talking about our future. Some of them will be talking about what we can do when people come together to take back power from the corporations. Some We'll be talking about a status quo that lost us an election to a man who does not deserve to even look at the inside of the White House, let alone occupy it. They're going to ask questions like, how do you pay for it? They're going to ask questions like, are the American people going to support it? They're going to ask questions about what it is that we're going to do to make it sustainable. But I want to tell them something, that if we are willing to stand up and take our politics back from the corporations who have dominated for too long, if we are willing to come together as a people, united around our power, and if we are willing to believe in a future that we build together, all of that and more can be done, but it takes all of us coming out. I wish they could see what I see right now. And one last note. What you see in this sea of people over here are people who recognize that solving those problems around inequality, around healthcare, around schools, none of that matters if the very globe that we live on is no longer habitable by people. We've got a responsibility, first and foremost, to stand up to the system of energy production that tells us that the only way that we can light our homes is to burn black stuff that comes out of the ground into the lungs of our babies. We will stand up against the energy corporations, big gas and big oil, that tells us that their way is the only way. We will stand up for a Green New Deal. Green New Deal, 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 Green New Deal. And I just want to tell you why it's so important to me. Because I owe you a big thank you. I know what I'm fighting for, and I know what you're fighting for. I was blessed with a baby girl 19 months ago. I know many of the ways the world is going to tell her that she's not enough. She's too young. She's too female. She's too Muslim. She's too brown. But I also know that in this country of ours, we believe in an idea. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, that when we the people come together, when we decide that we want to invest in an America that includes all of us, when we decide that we want to invest in the America that tells that little girl and all of our little girls and boys that they are enough, that this place is theirs too, then we can build the kind of America that I want to raise my daughter in. That is the work that you all are doing here today. So I thank you for that work.
All right, I love what Abdul started. I love it. So guys, one more time. Let's do the same thing Abdul just asked to do. And Sunrise, come and join us. Let's chant, Green New Deal, 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 Green New Deal. All right, I want to introduce the next speaker for you guys. She's from here, and she's been fighting on this issue all along, and I'm super proud to have her here. She's a 48217 community activist from Southwest Detroit. All right. Teresa Landrum, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to Detroit. I'm here to talk about the communities that are not represented. I come from a zip code, 48217, that has been deemed the most polluted zip code in the state of Michigan. And what that says is that I am from a frontline community of climate change. And we're here in solidarity to ask that we stop using fossil fuels, stop taking corporate money. And we're here to face off with the Democrats and let them know this is our demand. And the Green New Deal, how we fit into this, we want Detroit to be the engine for the Green New Deal. We're talking about putting our demands in that framework, creating a model that can be carried across America for every community that mirrors Southwest Detroit. We're not the only one. Flint crisis brought it all to the forefront that for many, many years, black and brown communities have been poisoned and polluted, gutted and robbed. We have to let the Democrats know and the Republicans know. They need us, we don't need them. If they're gonna come to a city like Detroit, come and talk to the real people. Stop eating steak and lobster with the rich and come down to a community where children go hungry every day. Come to a house where the water has been shut off. And if the water's not turned back on, they'll condemn that house and force that family to move. We're here to uplift the generations that we know are going to be impacted by climate change. And that's our children and our grandchildren. We're here to end the use of fossil fuels. We're here to demand that there be a community climate justice plan for America. The Green New Deal, if you put the work into it, it can be a fluid, workable document that can be used for generations to come. We're here to turn America around and give it back to the people. Thank you.
All right, guys, the great speakers keep on rolling. All right, we've got some great speakers coming up. Up next, the leader of the Justice Democrats, Alexandra Rojas.
How y'all doing today? Wow, thank you so much, TYT, for inviting me to come and speak. I have nothing prepared for you all besides that this show of force right now is so incredibly important. It's not 6 months down the line that we get involved. If we want to elect champions that are going to be for Medicare for all, accepting no corporate PAC money, a Green New Deal, all of those things, we need to get involved now and fight for the candidate that we want now and make sure that a progressive vision is what is going to lead this country to defeat Donald Trump. You know, my start in politics was literally 4 years ago. I was one of those statistics of young people that felt like the system was broken, that the biggest thing that we have to get over is cynicism, belief that our government and that people can come together to overcome some of these challenges. And it wasn't until Bernie Sanders ran in 2016 that I felt that there was hope for that. And so I guess with all of that to say is that Justice Democrats would not be around if it wasn't for a presidential primary, if it wasn't for Democrats having a healthy tension within the party about the direction of where we need to go and who we want to lead, because we know that presidential campaigns aren't just about living in the past, they're about building a chart for the charting a course for the future. So thank you so much. I don't have very much else to say, but thank you all so much for being out here and supporting JD.
No. I want to tell you guys real quick about Alexandra a little bit, okay? So, when you started on Bernie's campaign, how old were you? She was 20 years old when she started on Bernie's campaign. And at the time, if you had said, this is the person that's going to lead the group that is going to challenge all the corporate Democrats in the country, no one would have believed you. You know why? Because they don't believe in us. They don't believe in real Americans. They don't believe in the young. They don't believe in activists. They don't believe in grassroots. But guess what? They were wrong. Alex is one of the best organizers in the entire country. That's why she's the executive director of Justice Democrats now. She led the field team for Justice Democrats. She organized the volunteers. And then she led the field team for AOC and helped to get that victory. And I'm telling you that not just because I want to celebrate what she's done, but because I want to celebrate what you're going to do. And so remember, they never would have believed that a 20-year-old coming out of just volunteering on a campaign could lead a group this large and this effective, and that has made this much of a difference. But you can do that too. So don't ever let anyone talk you down. It is part of their strategy to take power away from you and to take power away from the American people. Alex decided to stand up and take that power for herself and for all of you. And you can do that too. So thank you for that example, Alex. Thank you. All right, up next, a guy who's been with TYT through thick and thin for year after year after year, and who is so strong that the website for PCCC is boldprogressives.org. Okay, that's exactly what we want. And he started this, 10 years ago? 10 years ago, he demanded that there be bold progressives. And he has fought for that over and over again. So the leader of PCCC, Adam Green, everybody.
All right. Good to be here with the TYT Army, which I hear is too strong. Is that right? Yeah! All right. When I say TYT Army, you say TYT Army is what? Too strong. Justice Democrats are what? Too strong. Sunrise Movement is what? Too strong. Bold Progressives are what? Too strong. Bernie and Elizabeth are what? Too strong. The Progressive Movement is what? Too strong. And that's why we're here today. I just passed 7 minutes ago on the street a reporter for a conservative news outlet who I happen to know, who said, I'm like, oh, I'm going to this rally. And he's like, oh, a lot of causes over there. What do you think about that rally? It seems like there's a lot cause for everything over there. And I said to him, I'm going to fight the power. Because what unites us as progressives, if you believe in ending corporate rule, or a Green New Deal, or college for all, or no middle ground Bernie, or higher wages, is that we are challenging power together, right? And together we are what? Hell yeah. Now here's what's going to happen at the debate stage tonight. A lot of people are like, oh, Bernie and Warren are going to attack each other. That's probably not going to happen. What we're going to see, I know that Cenk's a wrestling fan, we're going to see a tag team matchup. We're going to see the 1-2 punch of Warren and Bernie making the case for a bold, progressive, transformational presidency against everyone else, but I'm looking at the two Johns, John Hickenlooper and John Delaney, who honestly, this could be their last hurrah. So they have every incentive in the world to throw Hail Marys, to throw punches, and as they challenge power, Bernie and Elizabeth, these others are going to be defending power, right? Whether it's Medicare for all, or whether it's, the other guys bashing immigrants, or whether it's the other people saying, no, we can't make college more affordable. As you watch the debate tonight, is everybody going to watch the debate tonight? Show of hands? Okay. It might look like a bunch of ad hoc chapters, but please keep in your mind power. Who is challenging power on that debate stage? Who subtly or explicitly are defending powerful interests? And then you'll know who the real progressives are. Okay? So I am so proud to be part of the Army with you. I am so thankful for everything that the TYT staff and hosts, but most of all the Army have been doing together for years, because we are the majority together. We are the TYT Army, and we are what? To the people in that building over there, we are what? We are progressives, and together we are what? Fuck yeah. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Look, I love that there are people that are new to the fight. I love that there are people that have been in the fight a long time like Adam. I love that there are community activists in every city. And as we talked about earlier, and I'm going to talk about in a little bit, we're going to spread that everywhere, all across the country. And I love that there are national leaders. And to back up what Adam just said, I love that for the first time in my life, we have two progressives and that are leading the race. We actually have more than two progressives in the race, which again is stunning. We've never had more than one in my lifetime. And now we have 4 or 5, but 2 out of the top 3 are progressives. And they did not have any institutional support. They did not have corporate media support. They did not have the Democratic Party support, but they're still in the top 3. So, exactly right. Even without any of that help, we're still too strong. All right. So, now I want to introduce you to one more person here, and then we're going to keep on going, okay? So, she was the Senate candidate in California for the Justice Democrats. She was the executive director of Wolfpack. And now, the leader of the TYT Army, Allison Hartson.
Thanks, Cenk. Woo! You guys look good. Let me see those signs. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, you can put them down. The camera can't see me anymore. Okay. No, really, guys, I just wanted to quickly say thank you. I don't think there are words to express my gratitude to you, because many of you know my story. I stepped down from teaching, which I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life, in order to get involved in politics. And I did it to continue to, I guess, be an educator and help inform people about policies that affect our lives. And I did it because I know that we need to organize. There's a great quote, I'll probably butcher it. But we've got, I think we've got something fun happening back there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for holding it down. But there's a great quote from Martin Luther King Jr. that says that those who love peace must organize as well as those who love war. And that's why we're here. And I don't know about you, but there have been many times where I have wondered if me as one person is worth showing up to something, right? Because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of our resources. Sometimes it takes our money. And sometimes it takes our energy when life is already too damn hard, isn't it? But the fact that you showed up, every single one of you adds up and makes up what we have here, and with all of the great coalition that we have here. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my toes, for being here and for everything that you do. If you are interested in getting more involved, please sign up at tyt.com/army. We will be working directly together to continue to build our organization so that we can fight media bias, propaganda, and make sure that we are the feet on the ground to show up to events like this and be, what are we? Too strong! What are we? Too strong! I love you guys.
I love days like this because, well, I got all my rowdy friends. You guys came from all across the country and all across the world. And then as we started here, more and more people came. The SEIU came, Fight for 15 came, Democratic Socialists came, Sunrise Movement came. Now I believe we have more Democratic Socialists over there that have come. It almost feels like the Woodstock for progressives. Guys, there's too many of us. They've told you a lie and a mythology that if you should sit on your couch and there's nothing you can do. But as you can see, looking all around you today, there's everything that you can do. They're not coming for us, we're coming for them. And this is now happening at every one of our rallies. Our old friends that ran as Justice Democrats are back. So not only did we have Alexandra Rojas, who's the leader of the group here, not only did Abdullah Saeed come, who ran for governor here, but my old friend who was on TYT before, David Benek, ran as a Justice Democrat in Michigan and is now running for mayor of Kalamazoo, also joins us. David, come on up.
All right, hello. So how many of you know about Extinction Rebellion? All right, we're here to take direct action, to make some climate action happen, and to force politicians to declare a climate emergency. The reason I'm doing this is because before I moved back to Michigan, I was living in Louisiana. And I lived in Louisiana, in New Orleans, and while I lived there, the BP oil rig exploded out in the Gulf. Killed 11 people, destroyed the economy, destroyed the ecology, dumped tar balls all over the Gulf. I moved up to Michigan, settled in Kalamazoo, only to learn that that's where the Enbridge oil spill happened at the same time. I moved from the place in the United States that had the largest offshore oil spill in our history to the place that had the largest inland oil spill in our history. Neighbors say, don't move to my neighborhood. But that's what this is about. We have to demand a Green New Deal. We have to demand to change the debate. We have to demand real climate action to save the future for everyone here. No more of the same thing. No more status quo. It's time for something different. That's why we're here. Let's go.
Thank you, brother. All right. We had the leader of the Justice Democrats. We had the leader of P-Triple-C. Are you guys ready for the leader of the Sunrise Movement? Varshini Prakash joins us, and she brought a whole army with her. Can I hear one more time? Green New Deal. Green New Deal. Green New Deal. Green New Deal. Green New Deal.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going?
You just need a little bit of space for the speaker.
Sure. A little bit of space for the speaker. All right. Hi, everybody. You look amazing tonight, and it is amazing to also be with you with hundreds of people who have been throwing down in Detroit. I'm talking frontline leaders from black and brown communities in this city, in some of the most polluted zip codes. You heard from Teresa earlier. We're talking workers, over 500 workers with SEIU who are throwing down on the fight for a Green New Deal to say this movement is for workers too. And we have hundreds of young people with Sunrise Movement who are here to say, God damn it, give us a shot. Give us a shot at a livable future. Give us a shot. And I will tell you that is the winning coalition that is going to defeat Trump. That is a group of people that are going to build the movement that is going to take back our country from the racists, from the people who seek to divide us with hate and violence and rhetoric. So that is the winning coalition. They're going to tell you it's something else in that room tonight, some folks in there, but that is the winning coalition that we need to build. So for those of you who don't know, Sunrise is building a movement of young people to stop climate change and create millions of good jobs for our generation in the process. And, you know, I came to this fight when I was a teenager, and I hated politics. I hated politics. I'm like, I'm brown, I'm skinny, I'm 5 foot tall, I have curly hair. Politics hates me. Like, I have no place in that. They don't care what people like me think about how this nation should look and be like and who it should work for. But you know what? Politics found me. Because after a little while, I couldn't look away anymore. I couldn't pretend like people like me, where I'm from in Chennai, India, weren't drowning in feet of water because of climate-fueled floods. I couldn't look away from the hundreds of thousands of farmers that have committed suicide. I couldn't turn away from the thousands of people who are showing up at our borders because they have to choose in their home countries between starvation and facing violence. So that's why I'm here today, and that's why I chose to get involved. And I can tell you this, I cannot do it alone. We cannot do it alone. We need every single person here to show up. Not today, not just today, but tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and every single day until we get justice in the country for what it's deserved. And look, the Green New Deal. So I'm here fighting for a Green New Deal. You heard of it? And the Green New Deal is not just an environmental policy, right? It's not just a single bill. We are talking about an economic vision. We are talking about a governing agenda for the 21st century. We are talking about stopping climate change, getting off of fossil fuels, establishing clean air and clean water as a universal human right in this country. We are saying we will create tens of millions of good jobs in this country, and they will be good jobs, God damn it. They will be good jobs. And we're saying we're going to do that in the next 10 years. Otherwise, there's going to be hell to pay for all of us. So this isn't just about saving the planet. This is about saving ourselves. This is about salvation for humanity. This is about preserving our way of life for future generations. We need that. I need that for the 12-year-olds who are a part of my movement, who don't even know if they'll get a right to vote before we are just thrown into chaos and violence, before they're condemned to a future of that. We need to fight for them. We need to fight for the 16-year-olds in my movement who are out every single day getting other people who are eligible to vote to get out there and do it. So to all the young people here, all the young at heart people too, we need you in this movement, and if you want to get involved, go to sunrisemovement.org. Keep paying attention to these people, keep tuning in, and stay involved because we need you every single second of this fight.
So, in a lot of ways, Detroit unfortunately represented the decline of America for a while, but I think it's now going to represent the rise of America. So, I've asked you to get involved in this fight in a lot of different ways, and you have, and I really appreciate it. All the people that are here in person, all the people that are out there, all the folks that were in Iowa, all the folks that were in Miami, and all the different places that we go. So I've asked you guys to pressure the presidential candidates to tell us, are you progressive or are you not? And they have answered. Now, as you know, some of the leading candidates like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have answered the call and said, yes, I am a progressive. And I will fight for higher wages. I will fight for the Green New Deal. I will fight for Medicare for all. I will fight for college for all. And I will fight to end the corruption. And so many of you have signed that at tyt.com/pledge. Keep it going. Now, a lot of the candidates did not sign, so we know where they stand. That means they are not going to fight for those things. They do not agree. So that's fine, and I'm sure that they'll find their voters, although a lot of them are polling at 0%, so they might have already found them. So there's not a lot of grassroots activists for corporate rule in America. So now we've got to take it to the next step. Now that we roughly know where the presidential candidates stand, but we're going to keep that pressure going, but we have a very good sense of it now. Now we need you to organize at the local level. And for those of you who are here in person, you know we began that today, and Michigan is ground zero for that. So it starts right here. But all of you at home, we're going to come to your cities, we're going to come to your towns, we're going to come to your states, and we're going to organize one by one by one. And a lot of folks here from across the country, from Indiana, from Illinois, from Wisconsin, all the way from Oregon, Arizona. As I've said before, we even have a guy from China here. All right? And what we're going to do is we're going to organize and meet up in person and start to get that pressure to all the different political levels. So we go to Congress next, and then we go to the local levels, and our goal is not something generic that makes us feel good. It's not something that's hypothetical or theoretical. It is to actually change the laws. Every once in a while, the right wing will say, it seems like you guys are trying to seek power. And I say, goddamn right we are. They make it sound like power is supposed to reside in the wealthy and the connected. No, in a democracy, the power is supposed to reside in the people. They make it sound like it's a foreign concept for the grassroots activists to get involved in politics and just demand power. That is not a foreign concept. That's the concept that made this country. It is literally the most American thing you can do. So if you say that the people should not rise up, then you are un-American. We all here believe in democracy. And if you believe in democracy, why on God's green earth would you want corporations to rule over all of us? It makes no sense. So they asked me, hey, it seems kind of rude to say that a politician who gets money from corporate interests is corrupt. I say it's a lot more rude for them to take that money and impose corporate rule on the rest of us. Yes, we're tired of it. Yes, we're not going to take it anymore. And so we're going to replace the power of money with the power of people. You guys. That's why we keep saying too strong. Because if we are united, you see all these people around you, thousands and thousands of people. Together we are what? 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 Exactly right. But it is now time for us to go to the local levels to establish groups just like we did today in Michigan and to fight and fight and fight to get our country back. When we say our country, we don't mean for a particular race. We don't mean for a particular religion. We don't mean for any particular group. We mean what the Constitution said for all of us. It didn't say some of us are created equal. It said all of us are created equal. So we're going to take the fight to Trump. We're going to take the fight to the corporate Democrats. And we're going to win. I want to end on this, guys. 2020 is the fight of our lives. If Trump wins, I'm not sure our republic survives. That is not hyperbole, it is real. He does not believe in our form of government. He does not believe in the Constitution. He doesn't even believe in the rule of law. He believes that he should rule. He has surrounded himself with lackeys and sycophants and people who are only loyalists, not to this country, but to a man, to someone like Donald Trump, who does not believe in America. We must end him. We're going to end him politically. But in order to do that, we must have a fighter. We cannot make the same mistake we made last time, where we put someone who was milquetoast and believed in taking corporate donations and moderating her message and working with Republicans. We're not going to make that same mistake again, are we? We're going to get a fighter, aren't we? Who's going to fight for the people? And who's going to say all the things that we talk about on our progressive pledge, starting with higher wages. That is not too much to ask for. That is your right. You worked for it. Americans are the most productive people on the planet, but you do not get compensated for it because all of that went to the top 1% because they bought off our government. So we need someone who's going to say it, who's going to say to Trump, you're corrupt, and all of your donors are corrupt. If you have someone taking corporate donations, they will not say it because they take the same money. That's why we need a fighter who's a progressive. That's what they're going to decide in the debates. That's why I love that you showed up in front of the debates to take the fight to them, to let them know how strong we are. And then, when we win the presidency, we're not going to stop there. The reason for the pledge, the reason to get local activists in every state and every city is so that we have accountability. Obama said, make me do it. Well, this is the army to make the next president do it. And I know how important the next presidential election is, and we just talked about it. But remember, we must also get Congress. We cannot get any of these laws passed. And guys, always eyes on the prize. Get the bills passed, okay? That is how we make a difference in this country. It isn't just through talk. It isn't just through activism. It's actually getting legislation passed so it makes a difference in your lives, in your kids' lives, and in all of the American workers' lives. So in order to do that, we must have Congress. So go out there and support bold progressives. Do it in every way you can. Do it through activist groups like Sunrise Movement, sunrisemovement.org. Do it through boldprogressive.org. Go support PCCC. And obviously, do it through the candidates themselves at justicedemocrats.com. And when we have all of that lined up, when we have a progressive president and a progressive Congress, then we're going to end them by taking the money out of politics. The last part of that mission and the last thing that these corrupt politicians are ever going to see is a wolf pack. When we end the corruption, you all here are the founding fathers and the founding mothers. We're going to regain our democracy. So we're going to go watch the debate right now, and we're going to root for the progressives. One more time, I say TYT, you say too strong. TYT! Too strong! TYT! Too strong! TYT! Too strong! TYT! Too strong! I love you guys!